Well, hello there. I'm Kim Berry, editor of Food and Drink Business. Welcome to Play, our weekly news roundup brought to you by GS1 Australia. GS1 is the go-to for your barcode needs. Head over to gs1au.org and discover next generation 2D barcodes. They're a game changer for food and drink businesses. First up, there is one more day to get your entry into the HIVE Awards. We've got our sponsors on board, esteemed and experienced judges lined up, the venue is booked, and I've even got a frock. If the dog ate your homework and you need a little bit more time, please email events@todeforce.com.au. That's TWODE Force. In the news this week, Brad Banducci, the CEO and MD of Woolworths Group, has resigned, saying that after 8.5 years it was time. Now, considering his somewhat startling performance on the ABC Four Corners program earlier this week and the level of security the company is under, whether it was the right time is up for debate. But maybe finding the right time to resign from as head of the country's biggest retailer is like deciding the right time to have a baby. There isn't one, and you just have to do it. Now, what added a bit of spice to the announcement was that it was released at the same time as the company's half-yearly results. While it reported a net loss of $781 million, largely due to the poor performance of its New Zealand business and Big W's earnings slump, the Australian Food Division saw sales rise 5.4% and earnings grow 9.9%. to help Woolies hit the net profit of a breezy $929 million. Next month brings the Senate inquiry into supermarket pricing and behaviour, which promises to be as compelling as a Senate's estimate sitting headed by Penny Wong. The closing date for entries into the HIVE Awards is tomorrow, as I said, Friday the 23rd. We're pretty chuffed with the submissions that have come in so far. You still have time. Yes, I'm talking about it twice. Don't miss out on this opportunity to showcase just how amazing you and your company are. Bega is closing the Better Milks processing facility in Burnie 6 months after it acquired the business. It will move production to its existing Lena Valley plant in Hobart. Fonterra is merging its two business units, Fonterra Brands New Zealand and Fonterra Australia, saying it will strengthen its trans-Tasman offering in an increasingly competitive marketplace. You wouldn't want to be a dairy processor at the moment. It sounds terrible. That's a terrible thing to say. It just sounds very challenging at the moment to be in the dairy industry. We will have more on that in our next magazine issue, which will be our April-May. In South Australia, Cultivate Food and Beverage has acquired Adelaide Hills Foods with major plans to grow the business. Cultivate is a social enterprise backed by South Australian disability services provider Bedford, and it's designed to provide opportunities for people who are experiencing barriers to work. The A2 Milk Company had a strong first half with more than 16% growth in its China and other Asia market, despite the infant formula market in China declining more than 10%. Regenerative ag and food company Wide Open Agriculture says that selling its retail brand Dirty Clean Foods is just one option it's considering to drive shareholder value. The company's main focus is now developing its lupin Bunteen protein business. Ben & Jerry's has reformulated its non-dairy ice cream base to an oat one for the 20 flavours in the range. Those 20 flavours now account for 25% of Ben & Jerry's global production portfolio. Most important fact here is that there is professional ice cream tasting roles that actually exist in the real world, as opposed to my fantasy land of dream jobs. I'm going to get onto that. The Tim Tam is 60. That's all. It's worth noting, don't you think? And Kellogg's has just kicked off its celebrations for being in Australia for 100 years. It's actually still based at its Botany site, where it moved to 4 years into its Australian operations. It now makes 42 million kilograms of cereal every year. Foodbank broke its own record last year, sourcing 51 million kilograms of food which is the equivalent of 92 million meals for householders experiencing food insecurity. This is the type of record that Foodbank doesn't want to break, and its pre-budget submission outlines 5 priority areas to address the issue. Now, for all these stories and more, head to the website foodanddrinkbusiness.com.au, and for the third time, get your HIVE Awards entry in. Remember to subscribe and tell your family and friends. Thanks to GS1 Australia. And with that, I'm Kim Berry, over and out. Get your HIVE Awards in.